Hey LEGO fans, and welcome back to MB Bricks. My name is Maya, and today we are going to be checking out the finale of my Elven Castle build that I will be bringing to Brick World Chicago and Brick Rodeo in Texas this summer. This has been 10 weeks of really hard work getting this all ready, and I'm super proud of the final end result. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see more. Now, without further ado, let's take a closer look at the details. I started off this display with a very ambitious idea of how I wanted it to turn out. I was very excited to try my hand at some new architecture and styles for this build. While it started off slow and some weeks with hardly any progress, the end result is something I'm very proud of and very excited to bring to 2 upcoming shows. Let's start with the castle section of the build, as that's how I began. I built up the water in the front here with different shades of blue underneath the trans dark blue tiles to give the perception of depth. I then built up the rocky landscape around the water and lined it with lanterns that really reflect well off the water below. I wanted to keep the landscape to some darker tones to really have the castle pop with the lighter grays and greens, so I went with dark brown here for the path leading to the gazebo out over the water. A stone bridge leads to this gazebo where a single bouquet of flowers is found. To the far left, we can see a couple of elves enjoying nature with some overgrown trees, large vines hanging down the mountainscape, and a couple of birds coming to say hello. Although this is a fantasy-style castle, I did want to include some nods to the standard castles you would see, and so I started the structure with a simple gatehouse in the front. You can really see how the architecture became more intricate the more I developed the castle. I introduced the main color scheme of the castle with mostly light bluish gray with the pops of sand green, white, and dark tan for the roof. 2 candelabras light the entrance doors leading into the castle, and a single elf gazes out over the water. Just to the right of the gatehouse, we can see another elf wandering down the path into the more forested area. A stone staircase behind her leads up to a smaller entrance into the castle. I really wanted the feel of the castle being built right into the mountain landscape, and I think I did a pretty good job with this lower level. I really started to develop some cooler architecture here, using some fence pieces sideways to create windows. The main section of the castle extends up from the top of the mountain here, with an entrance to this grassy balcony type area. A single elf is playing a flute as she relaxes under a tree. I continued the color scheme and tried to give a more castle feel to the top as a nod to my love of medieval MOCs. The top of this section is the observatory, where a large telescope is set up and a covered area featuring a stone statue is inside, as well as a couple of desk areas with maps and scriptures. There are a couple of elves here clinking glasses and chatting merrily. The very top is exactly how I envisioned, with the swirling white elements and all the other little details. The flashing colored light within was a happy accident that I decided to keep, as I felt it really added to the magical feel of this build. To the left of the castle, we can see a covered balcony area that is decorated with a bench and some flowers. The rounded white balcony built into the mountain was something that I had really wanted to include, so it was done within the first couple of weeks and really gave me the confidence I needed for this project. The tower on the left was the biggest I created for this MOC, and I'm really happy with how all the details turned out for this one as well, and even had an additional small balcony and star map just inside. The upper levels of this tower showcase another statue and an inaccessible top area. To the right of the main castle structure, I added in one more tower, trying to keep all the architecture unique throughout the build. I played with some more rounded techniques here, and I also kept the height levels of all the towers different to give an asymmetrical appearance to the castle. This tower has a stone path that leads to a covered area in the back that forks off in 2 different directions. More stone steps lead down to yet another gazebo that has a clear lookout to the water. The other path turns into earth, curling down the landscape towards the waterfall and the more forested section of the build. This path is lined with lanterns and once again splits to go down to the edge of the waterfall and also in behind. The waterfall was a new technique that I tried. Not sure if I'll use it again, but I think it turned out pretty good on camera. This section is really where I had fun adding in all the foliage and overgrown vines coming down the mountainside. I added in some purple mushrooms for additional pops of color along the edge of the river, and on the opposite side you can see two elves playing. One is about to fall into the stream, but is the other one trying to catch her, or did they push her in? I'll leave that to you to decide. I wanted to build up this side of the MOC with a larger mountain again to balance out the build a bit. The very top has a lookout point and another elf with a telescope, possibly looking out beyond the water, as well as some squirrel friends. Down at the bottom we can see the entrance into the mountain, lit up by more lanterns within, which is where the path from behind the waterfall leads out. Looking closely inside, you can see a baby dragon hanging out, giving even more of a fantasy feel to the build. Just outside the cave entrance, one more gazebo-type structure is found, with two elves drinking tea. The rocky landscape is built up around them and covered with lush foliage, and of course I gave a lot of texture to the dark brown path. The front corner has a large pop of color with these dark pink and coral flowers growing up in a little patch. Nearby are some more elves interacting with nature, feeding a variety of animals some natural elven treats. My absolute favorite little scene in this build is the elf sitting right here by the water, painting a picture of the castle in the back. I used a sticker tile used in the Rivendell set to represent the painting, and I'm so glad that I just did the Lord of the Rings set comparison video that was released on Monday, so I was reminded of the cool stickered elements hidden in the back. I created a second bridge of the same design to connect the two paths over the river, which all connects back to the front of the castle. One last elf is seen here enjoying a book under the largest tree on this build. This is the elder tree and has been around the longest. Elves gather here to fully connect with nature and rejuvenate themselves. I'm really happy with how this build turned out, and keep watching to see the lights out version of this build. And that covers everything for this build of my Elven Castle. Let me know in the comment section below if you are planning on going to Brickworld Chicago or Brick Rodeo in Texas, and I hope to see you there. If you want to see more castle or fantasy style builds, do check the description below. I will leave a link to those playlists of all those types of builds on my channel. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, as it does help out this channel a lot. Thanks so much for checking out this video today, guys, and until next time, keep on building.